Dude, look at this absolutely insane champion, man. Just 5-star everywhere. Who's the champion? What? I absolutely love that there's just random rare champions in Raid that have like this little cult following and people just give them 5 stars for everything, man. It's great. Honestly though, I might actually build Madman out just for the fun of it on the free-to-play account to see what he can do. You know, it would be a funny video anyways. Besides, it just takes so long anyway to fully book out and fully max out your legendary champs, especially when you're just getting started in Raid, which is actually the first tip that we're covering in this video, man. Given this is 10 tips and tricks that I wish I'd known sooner in Raid, this is a good one, man. We started off with so many free legendaries because of the promo link and stuff like that, but I'm not going absolutely mental to try and rush all of these legendaries up to level 60 necessarily as quickly as possible, because a lot of them, I mean, like Supreme Gallic, I'm going to be taking him up to 60 as my next level 60 champ, but I also understand it's going to take a long time to get him fully booked up and get him as powerful as possible. And so the first tip in this video I wish somebody had told me sooner is just the value of building out some epics and some legendaries. You're not getting too overexcited by the legendary champs on your account, especially in the early game. Make sure that you're building out the epics and even some rare champions as well. The kind of champs that are going to be key and are very, very easy to build out and get fully booked, in, for example, the case of War Maiden, and are going to help you actually progress in dungeons and allow you to do things like farm stage 16 in many of the dungeons during tournaments and stuff, and just upgrade the gear of your account. And frankly, you might as well get it done because it's going to take you a long time to save for the books to fully book up your legendaries anyway, so you might as well level up these champs for progression in the meantime. Not that I'm in any way trying to disparage a triple legendary start, of course. In fact, time is running out to start off your Raid account with a triple legendary start like I did on my free-to-play. So what you want to do is sign out of Plarium Play on your PC and then click on the beginner promo link, which is down below at the top of the video description box, to grab Elnaril as your legendary number 1, as well as 3 additional epic champions as you level up your account. And all you got to do is create your new Raid account using that beginner link. You then want to enter beginner promo code Supreme6 on day 1 of your new account to get your hands on Supreme Gallic. And then all you got to do to get Alice is log into the game for 7 days. However, the Alice chase is only going to be active until March 26th, so make sure that you take advantage of this triple legendary start while you still can. Next tip in Raid I wish that I'd known sooner, this is a big one as well, is that every single thing that you do in Raid Shadow Legends should be considered a resource, right? There's a correct time to be pulling your shards, there's a correct time to be forging new artifacts in your forge building, there's even a correct time to be spending your arena medals in the Great Hall. And for me, the easiest way to learn when to spend each resource in Raid is take it one event or tournament at a time, right? Dungeon Divers event, it's a great time to be spending your gems for energy refills in the shop so that you can blast a crap load of energy into farming certain dungeons. Summon Rush events are usually when you would be pulling your sacred shards. They tend to give you the most points per shard value pull, if that makes sense. Sacred shards tend to be great to pull during Summon Rush. Your silver, only want to be spending that during gear enhancement events. Even things like fusing champions has a correct time for you to be doing this, right? So even if you're just going to do a very, very basic fusion like a Relic Keeper, you might just want to wait and fuse this guy during a champion chase tournament for some free event points in that event. For me at least, learning when to spend each resource in each event got me like 90% of the way there to make sure that I was spending my resources at all times in the most efficient way that I possibly could. Tip number 3 is that you can spend copies of champions in the tavern, and you usually do this with uncommon if you ever want to like max up an Armiger's skills, or rare champions like War Maiden. You can spend the copies of these champions to rank up their skills in the same way that you would spend, for example, a rare skill tome, in this case for War Maiden. However, the only time you really want to be doing this is during CVC. This is because spending copies of a champion to rank up their skills doesn't give you points during a champion training event, doesn't give you points during a champion training tournament, even though spending skill books does in a champion training tournament. The only time, or the only event that gives you points for spending copies of a champion is CVC, which is kind of crazy. It feels just a bit weird that it works like that, but it's a little bit of a factoid and something to bear in mind more than anything. Tip number 4 is that 3 resources that should only ever be spent during clan versus clan events for free points are, we've already covered the forge, but crafting new artifacts in your forge building. This only ever should be done during CVCs. It's the only event where you actually get points for just acquiring new artifacts in this way. The next one is spending your arena medals in the Great Hall. only ever be done during clan versus clan. It's just free points. Just have some patience with leveling up your Great Hall nodes until the CVC begins. And then next is actually spending oils to ascend up your artifacts, right? So we hit the ascend button right here. I've got 300 starter oils of my free-to-play account because I guess my account just got high enough level to start hitting Sand Devil, which I'm not going to do, by the way. I'm going to be ignoring the hell out of that dungeon for a long time. But we've got our starter oils here. Yeah, I don't want to be ascending my artifacts during clan versus clan as well, because yeah, even during gear enhancement events and stuff, you don't get any points for actually ascending your artifacts. It's just upgrading, right? CVC, it's everything, you know. Spending glyphs as well is another one that we could throw into this mix, right? So basically any upgrades that you're putting on your artifacts that are not just flat out upgrading the levels of the artifact, which you can do during gear enhancement. Anything else, enchanting your artifact with glyphs or ascending your artifacts, should only ever be done during CVC. And actually, now that I've just thought of it, a quick bonus tip as well. God, look at these gloves, by the way. 4-star attack percentage gauntlets, man. Not even crit rate or anything. Oh god, it's so rough in the first 7 days of the account, man, where you're just kind of grasping at straws, trying to get whatever you can cobbled together that's approaching a build on your campaign farmer and stuff. This is what I'm having to settle with for now. But an additional tip about glyphs in this game is that, honestly, any 5 or 6 star glyphs that you get on your account, right? It's not going to happen often in the early game, but when it does, don't use them. Just don't use them. The likelihood that you're using 5 and 6 star glyphs on gear that's suboptimal, right? Like in the first 4, 5, 6 months of your account is very, very high. Probably don't want to do that. But also, even though you're quite far away from these missions, you will eventually come upon, I think is it the Romantu or the Marius missions? It's one of the new, more advanced mission rewards tracks that you'll eventually unlock on your account that requires you to max roll on 5 or 6 star glyphs. Like 200 times or something ridiculous, you know, some of these missions. They get completely out of hand. But they require you to max roll on your glyphs, and they have to be high-level glyphs, man. So you want to be saving a lot of high-rank glyphs for when you eventually get to these missions. Well, to be fair, it's not mandatory, but that's what I'm doing anyway. I've just stopped using my super high rank glyphs, even on my main account now. I'm just being very, very stingy with them, waiting for those missions to come along. Tip number 5, do not underestimate any champion that you can build in your account that can be built to solo certain dungeons or certain content. For example, any HP burner, in this case Ninja, paired up with the likes of a Godseeker and Eerie. If you can just look up a guide on YouTube and learn what kind of stats you need to hit on these champions that can solo certain dungeons, or duo certain dungeons in this case, then you can build them out to take care of that dungeon, and you can farm up those dungeon tournaments while filling the empty slots in the dungeon team with food champions and be leveling food at the same time. In this case, this allows you to complete things like Sand Devils tournaments at the same time as you're farming things like champion training points, or perhaps you're farming up food champions during something like a Sand Devils at the same time as CVC is happening, and then all of a sudden you're double and triple dipping between events at the same time. It's a huge quality of life upgrade for your account. Dude, I can't speak highly enough of this, man. It's such a luxury to have once you've got it set up. And surely he will go down. That he does. We get the oils, we get the tournament points, I guess, in this case, and we also get to farm all kinds of experience on our food champions. Also on the main account, another champion that I did build out for this purpose as well is she of the ample bosom, good old lady Annabelle. This gal is insane, man. This was the first champion that just completely unlocked Doom Tower for me, being able to completely solo even the hardest difficulties of Dreadhorn Bommel, and just being able to level and build out one epic champion, not even a void epic either, but just one champion that basically trivializes and deletes a boss from the game on their own, has just been unreal. Tip number 6, Spider's Den is bugged as hell. Okay, this one's very, very important for new players to know, and early game players to know, even some mid game players to know if you're very, very stuck on Spider. Stage 10 for Spider's Den is nuts, okay? So it goes like stage 8, stage 9, where you can farm 3, 4, and 5 star artifacts, as you can see right here. Once you get to stage 10, you can no longer hit 3 star artifacts, so that's good. Stage level 4 and 5 artifacts only from stage 10. But listen to this. On stage 9, the drop rate of 5 star artifacts, okay, is 23%. The drop rate of stage 5 artifacts on stage 10 spikes to 81%. Ridiculous. Then when you go up to stage 11, or down to stage 11, I guess, the drop rate drops again from 81% back down to 40%. Okay, so stage 10 just drops a unreasonable amount of 5-star artifacts and rank 5 artifacts. And this stage has just been bugged forever. Since the game's release, they've just never fixed it, right? And so what that means is that it's better to farm stage 10, okay, than it is to farm stage 15. In fact, only stage 16 is better to farm than stage 10. And that's not just because 6-star artifacts can drop on stage 16, but at stage 16 you can also no longer get brews or mystery shards as drops in your dungeons. So you overall just earn net more artifacts once you're able to farm stage 16. But all the way back up to stage 10. Stage 10 is the best to farm until you can hit stage 16. It's just crazy as hell, and it's something that all new players should know. Next up, accuracy stats and how accuracy actually works in Raid Shadow Legends, right? The simplest possible way that you can explain accuracy to a new player in this game is that any negative thing that you do to an enemy champion that does not include damage requires accuracy in order to land, right? Decreased speed debuff is of course going to require accuracy. I'm using Morrigan as an example here. Also has a 100% chance of stealing all buffs from a target enemy on her A2. That also requires accuracy, right? Stealing buffs. Decreasing enemy turn meter is also going to require accuracy. Morrigan is a great example to use, right? She's got like a huge mixed bag of negative things that she does. They all need accuracy. So how much accuracy do you need? Best advice I got again as a new player, and that I wish I'd known a little bit sooner, is for every dungeon stage that you're clearing, you need 10 accuracy, right? If you're clearing like stage 10 dragon, your super early game, you're going to need about 90 to 100 accuracy in order to be landing your debuffs and your 10 meter decrease and stuff against stage 10 dragon. You progress on down to stage 16, about 160 accuracy, stage 20, 200, so on and so forth. And that's going to give you just a decent ballpark figure with your champs of where they should be. Next up, and tip number 8, is that when it comes to gearing in Raid Shadow Legends, couple of rules, right? Very simple rules. Percentage stats are always better than flat stats on your gear, unless that flat stat is speed. Speed is the exception to the rule, right? Speed is just unbelievable, which, by the way, man, look at my He-Man speed, dude. I'm quite happy with this, man. 224 speed, but he's maintaining 322% crit damage. I mean, the attack could be a little bit higher, but I'm pretty happy with this, man. I've been building out my He-Man to take on Live Arena as like my Live Arena damage dealer. All of that aside, I mean, I'm just, dude, I might actually start doing some Live Arena videos again recently. I've been quite enjoying the game mode recently, man. It's kind of crazy given how much I didn't like it just a couple months ago, but I now force myself to build some champions to sort of like specialize in Live Arena a bit more. I'm actually having fun, man. What is this, you know? Anyways, TLDR is that gloves... Oh my god, look at these gloves, dude. You gotta respect these goddamn cruel gloves right here, man. Oh my god. Gloves and chest pieces in particular, yeah, don't have a flat stat as your primary stat. It just means that those items suck most of the time, especially out of like the first 3 or 4 weeks of your account or something. Those items are basically going to be an auto sell. Doesn't matter if they're legendary. Just get rid of them most of the time. Oh, yeah, and just collect as many speed boots as you possibly can as well, right? 5-star, like rank 5 boots with speed as the primary stat are gold dust, okay, in the early game on your account. If you're a new player just getting started, don't sell any of them. Christ, even just like rank 4 speed primary stat boots. Hold on to those too. You know, you want every single one of your champions when you're just getting started in speed primary stat boots. Very, very crucial stuff. Speed is simply the king of stats. Tip number 9, and this one is more of a reminder than anything. I missed out on the first few weeks of Cursed City when I first unlocked Cintranos. Why? Well, if I just move my camera over real quick, when you first ever unlock Cursed City, and by the way, correct me if I'm wrong, if this has been patched since I first ever unlocked Cursed City across a couple of accounts now at this stage, it starts you off on hard mode. Did anybody else realize that? When you first unlock Cursed City, it starts you off on hard by default. I didn't even realize this as a new player. I just thought, oh, well, I guess this is just really, really tough content and my account's just not ready for it yet. You know, you unlock Hydra. Hydra totally kicks your ass. Well, maybe it's just something that Raid Shadow Legends does. You know, as your account levels up beyond level 50 and stuff, it just starts unlocking content for you that you can't quite do yet, but it gives you a goal to aim towards, you know. That's what I thought Cursed City was. Little did I know, no, it actually just starts you off on hard mode, and you've got to manually switch down to normal difficulty, and then you can actually make some progress, like when you first unlock Cursed City and get some free stuff from at least like the initial few rooms. And any time I mention this tip in the videos, I guarantee there's always a few people in the comments who say, Like, what the hell, man? You're right. My Care City is sitting on hard mode. I haven't progressed in it at all because I had no idea and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, don't feel too dumb about it. I did it too. Well, maybe that's not much of a comfort, you know. I've done a lot of dumb things in my account in my life. Anyways, man, on to Doom Tower. This is a top tip, man. One that I only started exploiting somewhat recently, and that is very, very simply, I'm able to farm all the way up to like the hardest difficulty of like hard Doom Tower. I've been farming the hell out of Dark Fae. However, what I did do in this current Doom Tower rotation was I didn't clear a single secret room throughout any of normal or hard mode Doom Tower until I was able to start farming Dark Fae. And here's why. You want to not touch any of the secret rooms that you can possibly hit until you are farming the boss, or until you reach the boss in Doom Tower that you actually want to start farming for the rest of that rotation. And the reason is, if you're farming up one of these bosses, for example, the hardest difficulty of Dark Fae, on my main account, you're spending silver keys in order to do that. But if you spend a silver key to clear a secret room, you spend 1 key to clear the secret room, but you get 2 keys back in return. That means if you just wait until like the last week or whatever with all of your secret rooms, you can put all of those keys into every single secret room, apart from the ones that I can't clear to this day. You can put all your keys into the secret rooms, get a ton of silver keys back in return, and then you can funnel all of those silver keys into the boss that you actually want to farm, right? It's just an efficiency thing. Maybe it's a little bit minor, but hell, you know, I was all proud of myself, at least anyway, for eventually, or finally, I suppose, realizing that that was the most optimal thing to do. And ooh, can I just say, man, comboing up Freya and Queen of Hearts and Odin and He-Man and starting to put together like a live arena team has been so much fun recently, dude. Oh my god, I'm very, very nervous about doing live arena content though, to be honest. Like, I'm such a noob, I'm still just learning the game when it comes to live arena, really. And I know that not a lot of people are interested in it, so let me know if you would be down below in the comments, the occasional weekly video or something. But alas, that is my top 10 tips of things that I wish that I knew sooner when I was first starting to play Raid Shadow Legends. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you all did enjoy this one. Remember, if you're looking to start off a new Raid account in 2025, there's only one way to get it done, man. It all begins with signing out of Plarium Player on your PC and then clicking on my beginner promo link, which is down below at the top of the video description box, using that link to create your new account to jumpstart your account with Elnaril and 3 solid epic champions. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to catch all of you all just a tad bit later.